if you got logos like this and all of these, how is your company supposed to stick out? Everybody has it. Why don't you guys hang out with me for a bit while I break down this machine and we'll talk about it. Why is that not working now? What's up, guys? Rebecca Wolfinger of Mil Spec Manufacturing. If you didn't hear already, Curtis and I kicked off the new year with a new website and a new logo. So why don't you guys hang out with me for a bit while I break down this machine and we'll talk about it. About a year ago, we started realizing a lot of people had the same logo as us. When we started the company, I bought the logo online, and it wasn't something that you bought and it was exclusively yours. But I never would have imagined in my entire life that I would encounter so many people within the manufacturing community with the same logo. When you're trying to build a machine shop from scratch and market it, it's kind of difficult when people have the same logo as you, because how are you supposed to stand out and how are people supposed to understand it's you? I mean, the whole point of a logo is to be that visual element that people recognize your company with. That kind of kickstarted the whole movement of let's go ahead and rebrand our company, rebuild the website, and redo a logo that is very uniquely Mil Spec. So when you look at it, you know, hey, that's Curtis and Becca from Mil Spec Manufacturing. You're not going to run into another company that has hopefully not the same logo. Now, they say when you're building a logo that you should pick a symbol or something that's representation of the industry that you're in. So for manufacturing, you probably have seen a lot of gears, spindles, and tools in the logo. We had it. But I'm realizing, as being in the industry for a couple years now, everybody has it. So the problem presents itself is if you got logos like this and all of these, how is your company supposed to stick out and attract people and be different, to be recognizable? So these are a couple good companies to look at and see their logo. So we knew rebuilding the logo, we needed to pick something that was going to be very uniquely ours. And that meant going back to the branding of our company and figuring out what do we want it to look like? Are we going to still kind of be this slick looking black and light blue modern looking thing? Or is it time to do something different? And of course we decided it's time to do something a little different. So picking your branding, you want to decide, of course, who is going to be your target customer, what's your color scheme going to be, and how do you want people to feel when they see your stuff, when you're marketing yourself. And it's very important that when you're choosing this for your brand, that you want to pick something that you genuinely love. You don't want to, I don't know, let's just say that you pick golfing when you hate golf and you really are passionate about swimming. You want to make it easy to be yourself and to market your company, be a true reflection of yourself. Obviously, I just said that. But for us, Curtis and I really are huge fans of anything vintage, especially like the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and World War II propaganda stuff. That is cool. And I've been testing out a little bit. I built a LinkedIn business page having this little experiment, and I was throwing up World War II propaganda posters and writing about it, and the response was incredible. I mean, people were genuinely interested in learning about that stuff, and I was like, this is a sure way to test out that if moving forward with building a World War II type themed logo would be fantastic. I mean, people like it. So that's what we did. If you haven't seen it already, it's this one. Air compressor, give me a second. Why is that not working now? Finally. All right, but yeah, here's our new logo. It's got a bomber girl on it. She's a little bit more covered up than what typically was of the era. She's pretty cool looking. And then she's sitting on top of Bob with that iconic shark face that you would see from World War II planes. And I think it's just a really good representation of what Curtis and I love, and then of course of our company. Our our target niche has always been defense work. We do a lot of that right now. And then, of course, you know, pride for American manufacturing. And that World War II era theme stuff goes right into manufacturing. I don't know if you guys know too much about it or if you even followed me along on LinkedIn, but like the thing I love so much about the propaganda is it's a time when Americans came together as a nation for manufacturing. You had people who were saving their scrap metal and their spent oils, even their toothpaste tubes, and the war effort came together to help America win the war, and that's fantastic. So I think that's why there's a lot of good emotional positive response when we were using that stuff for advertising, because people are genuinely interested and it invokes a sense of pride, which that's what we want to do now. You know, we want everybody to rebuild American manufacturing again. So it went very well. I love it. And now, of course, we need to order, like, there it is, new shirts. And we got logos, or I'm sorry, sticker logos that arrived. But after figuring out, you know, getting that logo situated, the next step was going to be building a website that was a reflection of the vintage World War II themed. And let me tell you, that was a lot harder than I expected it to be. When I do websites, oh, it all came out together, that's fine. When I do websites, I like to pull up other people's companies and use it as inspiration. And there's not very many other websites, not even just in the manufacturing industry alone, that was World War II themed. So what I did is I generated a bunch of like pinup girls and World War II like themed images. And I used that as what was going to go on to the website pages. I don't know if you guys have ever built websites before, but I refer to it as an onion where there's several layers of connecting everything. And it can be a pain in the ass, but at the end of the day, it's saving you like $8,000. So this is the third time I built our website. And every single time I feel like I hone it in a little bit more about what should be included on it, what should avoid. Do you put a lot of fluff into, or do you kind of keep it simple? I mean, in the past, I think the very first one was when we were a remote company. And like I put all these little bells and whistles on it, like all the little animations. Don't do that. I mean, it doesn't matter. And second one had a lot of fluff. It had like a page for like the Practical Machinist videos. It had a store for buying shirts, and I might add that back in on the new one at some point. It had a very intimate, like sharing a story of like Curtis's past and how Mil Spec came to be. And people did genuinely love it. We got tons of messages about like connecting with us. And I think that's really good for humanizing your company. But I also wanted to take a step back and keep it more simple and focus on, we're a manufacturer, we make parts, this is what we do. And that's what I did with the new website. Let me take this off real fast and then we'll hop over to my laptop and I'll show you exactly the differences and everything. You know, I think I have a little bit of a hand up when it comes to business and building websites and stuff. My dad actually has his master's in business and he works as a purchaser for an entire county. And so when I was doing the website, I was asking him like, what's the key things that's important to you? And he's like, I don't care about like what type of equipment you have, like detailed equipment. Like I don't care that you have a BF4 APC. He's like, I have no idea what that means. I don't know what it's capable of. You do. You're the manufacturer. You know what type of equipment's needed to make this part. He goes, what I need to know is, do you have the capabilities and like maybe examples of what type of parts you can make? So that's when it comes into play of adding your NAICS codes on there. And if you don't know what NAICS codes are, it's like categories that have numbers assigned to it. So like you can easily put that onto your website for people to reference quickly, your purchasers. Be like, oh, okay, so they do like military stuff, or they do lots of plates, or they do lots of screws and pins and stuff like that. It's just like a quick reference for them to figure out what your company specializes in. Hop on this laptop now. All right, guys, here she is in all her glory. So here's the logo at the front. This is what base the entire website design off of is. You got the bomber girl, the shark face bomb, and then underneath of it says Mil Spec Manufacturing. Love it. Chef's kiss. But I really dumbed down this website. You only have home, about, manufacturing, contact, and then up here it's get a quote. In the past websites, I had a form set up where you could put your lead times, your project, your contact information, and it allowed you to upload your CAD files too. But for some reason, more often than not, people were reaching out saying, hey, for some reason your form's not allowing me to upload X, Y, and Z. So I completely nixed that. This link will take you directly to your inbox, so you can just write an email, and then you don't have to fill out all this extra information, because as soon as you send that email, I'm gonna have your contact information. So it makes it a lot easier to streamline that process significantly. But moving on down in here into the design of the website, and see, we kept an American flag that used to be in our logo. We carried that onto our website. Of course, we love American manufacturing, and we hope to see it rebuild and a resurgence of it. So kept that. And then here's one of those images I was telling you about. We had them designed to reflect the World War II vintage military type theme that we got going on for the new branding. And so this is our landing page. Now this portion was very important to me to explain our process. We have had a handful of people reach out to us, and I think they assume that we stock products for them to buy, so they would send like an RFQ for 10,000 of different pins and bolts and stuff like that. Unfortunately, guys, we are a custom manufacturer. We don't keep anything in stock for you. So I wanted to go ahead and list the exact process, so when they came to our landing page, they know immediately, hopefully they can connect A to B, that we don't have anything in stock. So it's explaining here, you know, send us the CAD file, quotation, manufacturing, quality inspection, and parts shipped. So hopefully that's pretty to the point. And down here on industry served, just a little sampling of what we do: firearms, medical, defense, automotive, electrical, and aerospace. And you know, we do a lot more than just that, but that's just, again, a small sampling to let them know immediately on that landing page, this is what we can cover. Now, once you get down here, you can either click Get Started or scroll back up here. We're gonna just go ahead and scroll back up here, and we're gonna click on the About section. This section is gonna be talking about Curtis and I, our machine shop, what we take inspiration from. Curtis is a veteran, our mission that goes beyond machining, and what we do with our community, and even with Practical Machinists. But it's condensed down. It's not going to be like all these extra pages that we had in the past. It's right here together, and it even has a cute little picture of Curtis and I. Okay, so this is the manufacturing page right here. Prototyping to production runs. This is a really cool image of a machinist on a manual lathe. We actually have t-shirts that have this image on it. It has like a full backdrop, but I went ahead and I snipped that out. I don't know why it keeps popping up with that little thing. Anyways, it says Mil Spec Manufacturing is equipped with precision CNC mills, CNC lathe, laser printing, 3D printing, laser engraving, and embossing, integrated work cell, and a quality control station. And you're probably thinking, I haven't seen any of that. I'm telling you guys, next couple episodes, you're going to see a lot of things changing here at Mil Spec Manufacturing. So I went ahead and included all that stuff that we have, and our capabilities have expanded significantly. Right here, you're going to notice in-house services. I'm not listing my very detailed equipment like I mentioned earlier in this video. I am just putting CNC milling, CNC turning, 3D printing. I am not taking the time to list the actual brand of the machines or the work envelopes or anything like that, because at the end of the day, the purchasers who are looking at your websites, it doesn't make sense to them. They have no idea. They just want to know, can you make my parts? Do you have the capabilities? And yes, we are showing here in our in-house services, yes, we have all these capabilities. Now, one thing I added onto this new website was facilitated services. We have grown our network significantly this past year. So even though we don't have this stuff in-house, we have a great network of local other shops in here that can do this stuff for us. And so by adding this in here together collectively, it's making us look like a bigger, more capable shop, because we are now, because we have that network that if your part needs anodizing afterwards, it's okay. It's just because it's not done in-house doesn't mean it can't be completed at all. We have a trusted vendor network that we can do that to. Down here, of course, added in this documentation section. You guys know about material traceability, CMM report inspections, first article inspections, certificates of conformance, finishing certifications, hardware certifications and traceabilities, quality and certifications. So this is going into like the D&D side. A lot of our customers don't care that we're ISO right now, even though we're doing DoD work. It's fantastic. I think once you start getting into like those really, really big companies, you know, like GM Defense, Raytheon, I'm probably missing a bunch, but you understand what I'm talking about. That's when those companies really care you're ISO 9001 registered and everything like that. But we are compliant. We have a fantastic QMS. We are registered with the SBA as a service-disabled, veteran-owned small business right here. So that gives us an advantage on bidding on government contracts. We have the UEI and CAGE code, and we are in the process of doing our ITAR. Everything is completely filled out. I actually got locked out of my account, which sucks. But as soon as I pay that fee, we are good to go with ITAR. Okay, down here, this portion is perfect for those purchasers, those people that are coming to your website to figure out what you're capable of. We have a list of products just so they can quickly see what you're capable of doing, you know, from precision turn parts, brackets, spacers, plates, screws, hardware, semiconductors, tear bars, do a lot of that stuff. And of course, this is the NAICS codes I was talking about, guys. It's got your numbers here, and then it has a quick description. So they will be able to reference the stuff and figure out what is your machine shop capable of. Very important to add on. I actually had a conversation with, I forget her exact position, but she worked for North Carolina State. And she goes, Becca, you have a great website, you have a great LinkedIn. She goes, but I noticed you're not putting your NAICS codes directly on your website. What I had before was, it was a PDF photo. So the photo was uploaded, it was actually our line card. So it was a photo uploaded onto the website, and it had the NAICS codes on that. The problem, she told me, is when you have it as a photo, Google's not able to read that photo and find that information, pull it for the people who are typing in looking for you. So if you're going to put your NAICS codes in, do not put a picture of your line card on your website or your LinkedIn. You need to type them in directly and make it part of your website so that Google can find it. So we'll go back up here and to the contact button. Very basic. It's just, honestly, not many people use this. First name, last name, phone, email, write a message. And of course, another cool, cute little girl, military themed. Down here, it's going to have like a general location for us. We're in Salisbury, North Carolina. 2 contact email addresses and 2 contact phone numbers. We used to put our exact address in on Google until we went with Practical Machinist, and we had a lot of people start showing up. So unfortunately, if you need to meet with us, it has to be something that's scheduled in advance. So we did take it off, but you guys know that we're located in Salisbury, North Carolina. You want to ever get together, just shoot a message. We'll figure it out. Yeah, here's the thing I was talking about. We don't accept walk-ins. All visits must be scheduled in advance. And it's just kind of the downside of being, you know, publicly doing videos and stuff like that. You know, I always have these little quick links, so instead of having to scroll all the way back up here and click on something, once they get to the bottom of the page, you can click on it again. And then I have our LinkedIn shortcut button. So this one probably goes to me and this one goes to Curtis. So if you like our website, you want to get to know us or follow us on LinkedIn, just go ahead and click those buttons below and we'll be able to get connected. That is our new logo, our new designed website. And I hope that it gives you a little bit of insight on designing a custom website, custom logo, how to really stand out and be unique, because in the sea of machine shops, being unique is what's going to get you attention and work and build those relationships. So thanks, guys, for joining me on today's episode of Becoming a Practical Machinist. I'll catch you on the next episode.